I'm also very happy to announce that as of a few days ago, most major unions in this race have not endorsed anyone until now. The first major labor union has made an endorsement in this race, and it's for DC 37, the largest municipal workers union in the entire city. And I'm happy to announce that we won that endorsement. They represent 100. Thank you. I was born in South Korea, and both of my parents were from families that didn't have a lot of money, and this was after the Korean War, so economic times were pretty difficult, and they really wanted to be in a place where they weren't constrained by the fact that they didn't come from the right families, that they didn't have the right connections. My father came to the U.S. to pursue his graduate studies, and my mother and I joined him when I was 6 years old in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And for both of my parents, they really wanted to be in a place where there was no limit to how far they could go. They wanted to be in a place where they'd be measured by their accomplishments and by how hard they could work. Because my parents were graduate students, they were living on a graduate student stipend, $500 a month for 5 years. And we lived in subsidized student housing, and I ate free school breakfast and free school lunch for 5 years. That really was an interesting window for me to see how much income inequality affected a lot of my classmates too. And that experience really never left me, and it really helped motivate me to really always think about social justice and think about ways that we can close the gap between everyone in this country who don't have equal opportunity. After I graduated high school, I was fortunate to get financial aid, and I attended Princeton University, where I studied public policy. After Princeton, I wanted to fulfill a lifelong dream, and I moved here to New York City. And I worked at McKinsey Management Consulting, where I served both Fortune 500 companies, but also a lot of nonprofit organizations based here in New York City, including Teach for America, St. John's University, and Vote for America. And that experience really was useful because it taught me a very specific professional skill set and how to do problem solving and how to work with the management of some of the top companies and nonprofit organizations in the country. After I worked at McKinsey, I studied public policy at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard, and I also got an MBA from Harvard Business School. And that combination was something that really appealed to me because I think a lot of the challenges that we face can't be solved in just the private sector or just the public sector. There really needs to be more collaboration between the two. After Harvard, I faced a choice about whether I wanted to go back to Wall Street, where I had a job offer from Goldman Sachs, or whether I wanted to pursue a different path. I thought to myself, I could become another banker, but the world has enough bankers.
He obviously could have done extremely well and did extremely well at McKinsey and could have been a millionaire very quickly. But that is a sign of his character, that he really wanted to serve his fellow citizens, and that's where he went into NGO work, and that's where his heart is, and for which I admire him tremendously.
I was fortunate to find a nonprofit organization called Food Change that was running free tax preparation programs already, and I was able to join them and to really innovate and to expand and improve the services they were offering. So that by our first year, we had 200 paid employees, 400 volunteers, and we were running 11 locations all across New York City, and we served 44,000 low-income New Yorkers in that first year. And that was really satisfying in the sense that not only were we able to help all these families, but we were able to really increase awareness of the tax credit for everyone else who we couldn't reach directly.
Really was somebody who knew how to kind of get in touch and put the different coordinating pieces together. It's one of the things I think is going to make him a great politician and a great public servant, that he's able to listen more than just speak. I
want to be a public servant, and the work that I've done before in the nonprofit sector, and even the work that I did in business before, everything that I try to do, I do with an eye towards public service.